What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about how to build systems inside of your business so they can create a better customer experience for your clients, one, and two, get more organized under the hood, man. I can't tell you how long I've went without a system and process inside of my business. I don't know how the hell I lasted 5 years without a process and system. But eventually it caught up to me. And so I want to shed some light onto this topic. And I brought my man Awais back once again. What's going on, Awais?
What's going on, Henry? Happy to be back.
Dude, so you and I both have some war stories of lack of process and system in our business.
It's a touchy subject, man.
Yeah, it is a touchy subject, man. Because nobody wants to. It's the unsexy part of business, unless you're like one of those logistics people that love that stuff. Me, I'm the creative. I'm not interested in that, but I understand the power in it. I understand the value in it, and it transformed my life and it transformed my business. And I figured it's very, very important to talk about, especially if you're a coach, a consultant, a solopreneur of any sort, that it has some momentum behind you and you want to get to that next level. So let's talk about it. So in these live streams, we like to map out 3 problems and deliver 3 solutions for you. So Awais, hit him with problem number 1.
All right, so problem number 1, you just feel like a hamster on a wheel, right? Like you're running your business on like a hamster on a wheel and you're not actually moving forward.
Yeah. Or you feel things falling through the cracks.
Yeah.
Right. That was one of the things that I struggled with a lot, was no matter how hard I tried, things would be missed. And then you get a pissed off client. And now you're embarrassed. Now you're trying to point fingers, or how it goes, right? You know how it goes.
And then your reputation's on the line. Are
Exactly.
they going to come back? Are you actually going to get referrals from that client? Probably not.
Exactly. And here's the thing, the minute you start to show disorganization to a client, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over. That's the biggest opportunity cost, in my opinion, when you don't have a proper system or process in place.
That's right.
Because then everything from there on out gets questioned. And that trust between the client and you starts to diminish. So you better get that project done quickly. If you don't have a product, a process or system in place, because the longer that project lingers, the worse it's going to get.
The more time they have to think.
Yeah, exactly. And I share this with you. I laugh about it now, but it was a shit show when it was going on. I can promise you that. It was awful. It was a bad nightmare. And it's why I said I have to spend money on this. This is not an if, it's a must.
A must. Yeah.
It's a must. So what the hell does all this have to do with branding? Right? I want to tie it back real quick so people get an understanding of what this is. So if branding is that gut feeling people have about you, your business, your product, your service, and you're disjointed, you're fragmented, you're not coming across with a clean beginning, middle, and end. What's that feeling that you're giving your clients or your audience or your prospects? That's how this all ties back to branding. Okay. Problem number 1 was you feel like you're running on a treadmill and not getting anywhere, right? Problem number 2, no process, no system, lack of organization, kills the trust and credibility of what it is that you're doing. Problem number 3. Awais, you threw this one down. I wanted you to expand on this.
You're in the business of losing money. If you lack organization, you're spending more time doing the things that should be done in more of a time efficient manner, or you're constantly going back and fixing and doing like constant fixes on things that are broken.
Ugh.
Take you a longer time. So are you actually profitable in that business, or are you losing money? More than like you're losing money.
Yeah. If you're not organized, you're losing money.
Yeah.
I mean, that, in my opinion, seriously, right? So question number one to the audience is this. What's your process look like? What does your process actually look like? Have you taken the time to whip out a blank Word doc or Notes doc or Google Doc and start outlining what the steps are that you want your clients to go through? Right? I want to share with you quickly. So I have many processes and systems inside my business now. I want to show you one that I use for podcasting. Okay. So anytime a podcast is complete, it's my responsibility to give it to Pam, my assistant, my project manager, to get it into motion, into production. Okay. So I assign it here in a very specific way. She gives then the video format of that podcast to my video editor. He chops it up into a little 60-second sizzle reel. Then it goes down to, then the audio version of the podcast goes to Mike, who's my production manager, who then does all the necessary things to get it scheduled on all the platforms for podcast. After that, it's ready for social media distribution and sending out an email broadcast to my entire list. Then if we have a guest on the show, that guest needs to be personally notified that the show is live with instructions on what to do with that show once it's live. So it's as simple as me recording an episode. I have a little framework that I use to submit it to Pam. Pam does the rest. I never have to see it again until it's live. That's just one of several processes in my business that makes life easy. I can't stress that enough, because all the frustration in your business right now, you could point all the fingers you want, but at the end of the day, you are the bottleneck. I don't know how else to explain it. All right. Now, solution number 2. Talk to me, Oasis. I love this one.
Enforce the process. And this is something that, again, patient zero here. I
love it.
I mean, you can set up all the processes that you want, but if you don't hold yourself accountable to it, no one else is going to maintain that accountability. No one else is going to follow through. Accountability starts at the top with you. So exercise extreme discipline in following your own process. Mm-hmm. Model that behavior, model that, and remind everyone else around you. And as an effect of that, as a result of that, your clients will follow the process.
Or will they? Or will they?
Yeah. If you're holding your team accountable to that, if you're holding your clients accountable to that, but you start from the beginning. I mean, I was just on a sales call earlier today, and I was like, again, you've trained me well enough to say this. Well, let me discuss my process. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Listen, it shows that you have your shit together. Listen, I have a process that I follow. And when I don't follow it, guess what happens to the project?
all over the place. It's in shambles.
Yes. Right. And when you get a client, this happened to me in the past, and it's a quick fix. You want to run the project through a project management software like Basecamp, like I do, like I just showed, or Monday.com or Trello. You want to run the project off of a platform like that. Clients not listening. They're sending you emails. How do you get them on the platform to communicate only on the platform that's managing the project? You have to pull them aside. And you have to ask them a very simple question. Do you want this project to be successful? What do you think they're going to say?
Of course.
So I follow a very strict process. This is why my projects come out so well. If we don't follow the process, I can promise you the project is not going to come out to your liking. So here's what I ask. Any communication to me or my team must be delivered inside of the project management software. I want this project to come out just as awesome as you want it. But as your lead here, I have to make sure we all stay on track and accountable for the process. When you say it like that, very, very rarely are you going to get pushback. And if you do, maybe you got the wrong client, right? I've had some issues way back, and the client wound up, when people say I fired the client, okay, I don't like to use that term, but we both mutually said, this is not working for either of us. Let's just part ways, right? It's better off that we do that. I don't want to abuse you anymore, and I know you want what you want, so let's just part ways, right? And then there's obviously things that you have to do to make sure that it makes sense for both people to split ways, because you don't want to get burnt and you don't want to burn them. They don't want to get burnt. So it's got to be a win-win once you decide on that. But very rarely will that have to happen if you're very clear and upfront with the expectations of the project and how you're going to lead it. Because you have to remember, this is why these folks are hiring you in the first place, to take control.
Yeah. You are assigned as the expert. You are assigned as the doctor, right?
Exactly.
They're the patient.
Yeah. They're not going to start performing their own surgery on the table. Exactly. And if they are, we got bigger problems. we got bigger problems.
Self-diagnosing, self-prescribing,
Yeah, forget it. Forget it. Yeah. So last but not least here, guys, one of the things that Oasis and I want to hit home is making sure that you stress test your process once you got it outlined. 1, and 2, make sure that you're constantly reviewing it or refining it. I'm going through that right now. For 2022, I'm bringing on a couple partners. We're going to be working together on streamlining Unique Designz and making that business a little bit more autonomous and removing sort of the brand doctor from that business. Okay. Let the brand doctor kind of be its own brand. So we're parsing that out. It's going to be a fun little project for next year, but I'm bringing on some help to help me do that. And one of my responsibilities over the holiday break is to make sure that my team members now, my partners now, understand the process that I take my clients through from the minute they book an assessment to the minute we finish a brand accelerator project. So I have to literally line by line. Now, the good thing is it's all documented. It's very easy to show them. But if I was starting out from scratch, it's necessary. in order to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. What happens when you get 5, 6 clients at once? Is that process, is that system going to sustain quality of work?
Seamlessness.
Right. So another cool thing that you put here, Oasis, I want you to, solution number 3, bullet 2. Talk to us about that.
Get client feedback along the way. How are we doing? You know, every milestone that you hit, I have a process around that. You know, where along in midway of an engagement, if it's a 3 to 4 month long engagement, we've hit that midpoint. I reach out to the client. Hey, we need a face to face. Let's sit down for about 60 minutes and you know, unpack of how things are going. You know, you guys seem super excited, but I really do. You know, this is our time away from actually discussing the project itself and just, you know, unwinding. And so it's more of a personal conversation, and see how they're doing in their business, and seeing how we're doing. If there's anything else that could be revisited, if there's something that you know that they're not necessarily as excited about, and how we can improve that. And you know, just that in itself has been instrumental in us knowing what's working, what's not working.
That kind of feedback, I don't think you could put a price tag to it.
Yeah.
That kind of feedback coming direct from a client is priceless.
Yeah.
Is priceless. There was a
And
client,
while they're still in it, right? It's one thing to get a feedback at the end when they're super excited to see all their stuff come together. But in middle, what I've noticed is you pick up that momentum. Everyone's super excited the first couple of weeks, right? Especially, like I said, when it's an extended project. But then you really start to feel a little weighed down. It's normal. And they start to see all of these other things coming in and operationally from their end. So that's when I want to really get their feedback, when they feel like they're super weighed down, and see, okay, well, you know what? Now tell me about the bad stuff. I don't want to hear about you getting super excited about all the good stuff we've done.
Yeah. I had a client point out to me last year that one of the steps in the process was a little repetitive and that I didn't need it. And I was like, holy shit, he's right. So we completely eliminated that step, and it saved not only our team a bunch of time and aggravation, but it saved the client a ton of time. And that's huge. And then he was able to get his project back by 3 days faster. So that's 3 days it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So what if you had a consistent, repeatable, predictable process inside of your business that didn't make you feel like you were getting pulled from 18 different directions? I had a client reach out to me. This was late summer. He said, Henry, when I land a new client, it's bittersweet, because we got a new client. Horrible that now I have to jump through literally 7 hoops of flames to get them what they need to pay me. I'm like, that's what a funnel's for, my friend. That's what your business is missing. You know, what if you just sent them a link and they paid the bill, and after that, all the steps were automatically fed to them in a sequence? How does that free up your time? How does that free up your life? How does that make your business and your life easier? So we got to work. So very important, guys. Systems in your business is the way to 7 figures and beyond. Without them, you're screwed. You're going to feel like you're in the deep end of a pool trying to stay afloat. It's the best way that I could explain it.
And one thing to add to that, 7 figures and beyond with less headaches.
Yeah. Maybe with even less clients.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
When I streamlined my process, it was more money, more profits, less clients.
Less clients, yeah.
It just made it that much easier. And I knew that the threshold was 12 to 15 clients a year at max. And we hit it every year for the past 6 years. So just goes to show I'm so pumped because I said to Owace before we went live that I want this show to be 20 minutes or less today. And we just hit the 21-minute mark. So
that's how the process works.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this up. I love Michelle. She says, I have a number of steps from start to finish. That's great. Now look at those steps, Michelle, and see where you can refine and make sure that it is the best experience, not only for you and your team, but for the clients that you're running the process through. So real quick, guys, if you want help with this stuff on a more one-to-one basis, highly recommend you book a brand assessment with me right now. You go to this site right here, and there'll be a big yellow call to action in the header. Book a brand assessment. We're going to sit down. I'm going to see where you're at. I want to see where you want to go. I want to see what's holding you back from helping you get there or getting you to where you want to be, and then decide what we should be doing first, second, and third to get you there. And if it's not me that's helping you, I'll find you somebody that can solve those problems for you. I could promise you that. So have an amazing day, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and drop some comments below if you have questions. We are here to help you. We are here to get those questions answered, and we are here to help you build a profitable and more reputable business for 2022 and beyond. So have an amazing day, and we'll catch you on the next one real soon. Take care.
That's